there's one at Olympia, I believe.
Yep.
The blurb or the PR says that innovators, investors, tech giants, the visionaries applying new tech to solve the world's biggest problems, enterprise tech leaders who are creating solutions to enrich every aspect of our lives. They all come to Finsbury Square on Wednesday evening to hear about where technology will be taking them next. So thank you for coming and making time for us this evening. And looking around the room, I can easily say that you're probably a much better looking audience than they've managed to assemble tonight at the London Tech Week. So thank you for coming. My colleague Ralph Lafontaine will be giving you further details of our mission as a university in the entrepreneurship space, especially focusing on our inclusive values when we talk about convening and launching this very special ecosystem. City University is soon to be known as City St George's University of London, and it is a very special place. It's absolutely brimming over with diverse and hungry talent. We are the University of Business Practice and the Professions, and we have an excellent reputation and record in entrepreneurship, and that ranges from our first-class degree programs, through short courses, through our research, hackathons, our mentoring programs. We have a museum of entrepreneurship and a vast array of resources through our City Venture programs. We're also embedding the entrepreneurial mindset in every single one of our degrees to our graduate attributes. So we really believe that entrepreneurship brings value to people who study with us, whether they're going to start a business now or in the future. It's a critical skill set to acquire. We're incredibly proud of our special relationship with the City of London. The City University was funded originally by the City of London, and we've been really grateful for the input and support we've already had from the City of London Corporation, from the Small Business Research and Enterprise Centre, from Samuel Wilson's Loan Trust, and from delivery companies, some of whom might be here tonight. We're really delighted to have their support in getting to where we are. We're also at City very pleased to have had the rector of our university, who happens to be the Lord Mayor of the City of London, come here earlier on today. And he is an entrepreneur, and he is absolutely on board with the work that we're launching because he recognises the amazing contribution that entrepreneurship brings to individuals, to families, to geographies and communities. And our location for our ecosystem here is absolutely superb. And I don't just mean this swanky space. I mean here in the heart of the City of London, where innovation, where investment, where business, where networking have thrived for 1,000 years. And now it's our turn to do our bit. Thank you, every single one of you, for making time to be here this evening, for bringing your presence, for bringing your insights, for bringing your questions, your support and your warmth to those that will be presenting and speaking to us later. We are here to make a difference, and we're really pleased that you're here with us. So thank you very much, and over to Ralph.
Okay, so I'm just going to cover similar points to each but try and give you a bit more kind of like why we're here, what's the next steps, what can you look at, what's going to be, what you're going to see changing. So the obvious one is entrepreneurship matters. We know that, that's why you're here. Thank you very much. So we know we need the innovators, we need the problem solvers, and we know that's going to deliver economic growth, jobs, prosperity, and taxes that pay for our services. But it's not just about venture promotion, it's also about the changing nature of work. Work is changing, we're going to continue to see a growth in self-employment, freelancing, portfolio careers. So those entrepreneurial attributes and skills are actually essential for the future of our young people and the jobs they're going to be going into. And indeed, even employers themselves are now hiring people on the basis of entrepreneurial kind of mindsets and skills. However, that's the good news. So the bad news, however, that is it's not actually open to everybody as it should be. So 75% of UK founders come from advantaged backgrounds, which may say essentially have access to the kind of financial resources, social capital, knowledge and skills that are needed to succeed in entrepreneurship. Which means the converse of that is there's a huge pool of people who are very talented, very hungry, ambitious, who simply don't have those opportunities. Businesses are not being formed, they're not scaling, not growing, because we haven't actually given those people the same chances. So we want to dismantle those barriers, we want to try and see what we can do to make a difference. As I say, that is all about both the equality of opportunity for those individuals, but it's also very much about the missed opportunity of the economic prosperity and growth that's going to bring. So, as Jay was kind of alluding to, we are particularly interested in this area and this challenge, and we believe we are well positioned to do so because you may or may not be aware that City University is ranked number 1 in 2023 for social mobility outcomes. We have a large contingent of students from disadvantaged backgrounds, and we have a large contingent of students who are from vague backgrounds as well. So what this kind of points to is that we definitely have that kind of cohort of hungry, ambitious, tenacious graduates and students, and indeed I would say people from outside the university who want to take advantage of opportunities of entrepreneurship actually but simply just don't have the same opportunities as others more fortunate than them. So another kind of why I asked this, we've already been doing this for a while, so I can see several colleagues around the room who may have formerly worked here or now work here. So we work really hard to support entrepreneurs, and that's the same in the business school and through City Ventures, which is the kind of name we give to the service that provides the support to entrepreneurs coming through the university and graduating. So City Ventures was actually formed about 12 years ago, when some of the day's academics did some training for startups in the Old Street area of Silicon Roundabout. So that kind of led to the formation of LaunchLab, for those of you who've been there, which is our incubation space. And from there, we kind of started to build up our capabilities around supporting entrepreneurs. And over that period of time, we've grown to be able to be second nationally for the investment into social enterprises in 2022. And as I say, the business school itself has a phenomenal track record in entrepreneurship education as well. So where this all points to is the fact that we obviously can't do this on our own. It's not a bit self-evident really, but I'm kind of saying the same way that a startup business can't succeed on its own, an entrepreneur can't succeed on their own. Building a kind of entrepreneurial culture and an ecosystem of support can't happen. Even a magnificent institution like university can't do it on its own. We need to work with partners, we need to work with a variety of people. And I kind of just highlighted a few of those kind of types. There are other types out there, and they might be all sorts of different areas you can think of. But fundamentally, we have the entrepreneurs. And as I say, we are opening this out to everyone in the city and the region. So it's not just about undergraduates and postgraduates and alumni. It's about literally anyone who's got the idea and wants to take it forward. We need the partnerships. We need to work with partners, and we're forming the partnership groups to do that. We need the expertise, working with colleagues like Stuart and his team and others like that, so actually bring those kind of deep expertise and what it takes to build a business. Funding and ultimately research is the bit where the university can really apply some really evidence-based thinking to gather the data. This is a practical implementation project. We're actually going to be supporting businesses. We're going to generate data. We want to know what works and what doesn't. And we can feed that back into the kind of system and ultimately make a really long-lasting difference. So, finally, kind of like this is the final thing for me, I promise, and this is basically just taking, this is all very well and good, it's very good words, what's actually going to change. So you will see a few things coming. We've pulled together what we call a City Entrepreneurship Guide. This is a kind of collated guide of all the activities across the university, the people who have access that are going to support my entrepreneurship journey. And that can be anything from I just need to be inspired to, do you know what, I want to raise some money, I'm ready at that end of the spectrum. So that kind of, hopefully, it's early days, but there'll be opportunity for everyone to engage at different stages of the journey that's right for them. We're forming a small group, what we call the City Ventures Alliance. This is a small group of partner organisations, and each organisation is contributing a very specific thing to the ecosystem based on their capabilities and interests and what they can actually do. That's early days, seeing that people in this room are working on that, and we're going to, that's going to be our kind of core group. We're going to really try and leverage the difference. And it's not just that group, there'll be other people, but we need to bring a group together to try and make this happen. The research I've highlighted there already, absolutely critical from my point of view. The evidence-based kind of actions we can take based on what we're actually doing, whether that's might be over a long period of time, but we want to get that data. And then we also want to really massively upgrade our business support, again, working with Stuart, entrepreneurs and residents, expanding on our mentors, really upgrading our spaces, working with partners to do that as well, like the Corporation of London, and ultimately funding as well. It's always that final piece of the jigsaw, maybe the first piece of the jigsaw. How do we actually give people who are on that journey enough resource that they can get to the point when they're actually generating revenue, that they're a going concern and they can grow into a larger business. So that's what we want to try and do, and that's how we're going to try and do it. I don't have all the answers, but I'm absolutely here today to try and start out on this journey together. So I hope that's helpful. And I'm now going to, there's one more now, more ado. So this is the next thing to watch out for. We're going to make these events monthly. We'll move them between this space, City Venture, launched that event spaces, our space around the city, and obviously the deals as well separately. So the next one's on the 18th, Wednesday, the 10th of July. Sign up, it's all free, there's always free drinks, and it's always a great experience. What I'm really hoping is that people keep coming. And as you keep coming, you'll get to know other people, and the kind of like the connections start to be made. And with that, I will hand over to Stuart. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. That's a very good people here today. Wonderful to see you all. Can I get a raised hand from anybody who's been to a Canopy demo night before, either online or in person? Fantastic. Right. Some people are getting out of it already. Okay. But everybody else, we've got to do two things. I've got to tell you why we do this, and I've got to show you one of the most important things of Canopy. Which one do you want first? The why or the show? Why? Okay. Startups fail for lots of reasons. Me, I failed at least twice this morning, just getting to this event, right? But the number one reason that most early stage companies fail is because we build stuff that people don't want or need. We are genius in our own lifetimes, and we believe that what we are doing is the most important thing in the world, but nobody else gives a flying penny about that, and they don't spend any money with us, and we can't survive. This room exists as demo night for not a pitch for funds, but for showing you what we're working on and getting critical friend feedback, looking in the blind spots, reminding us about things. It's a holistic way of dissolving this problem. A great example tonight is Jeremy, who's the startup founder, who's going to be on the panel giving his critical lens here. But next month, on the 10th of July, he's going to be up here giving a demo, getting a critical lens. And this is part of how it all works, okay? We won't call it the cycle of life, because everybody's asking them to go a bit weird. Okay. Now, everybody got the hang of that? Yep. The format is 5 minutes of demo, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A, initiated by the panel, orchestrated by these two over here. If it goes wrong, it's my fault. If it goes well, it's their fault. Okay? So now the thing I need to show you, most important part of Canopy. What I want you to do is have a good look around. I want you to walk over to somebody that you haven't talked to yet this evening. You have a choice to either fist bump them or hug them, as you prefer, and they prefer. Please ask permission before the hug. And I just want you to tell them why you're here. Just give it a couple of minutes. Go.
Well, we don't really. I don't think we really spoke properly.
So I'm Nick, I work with Canopy. I'm an ex-CNO residence.
And you're an Exeter man.
I'm an Exeter man.
Yeah, very good. I'm a Somerset man.
Okay.
I'm just over the border.
I
Oh, we? Okay. I'm Ilminster.
Oh, okay. I'm actually north of
Okay. Okay, yeah. Well, we're here with Agora Care. It's a new venture for us. My background is not Agora Care at all, or any healthcare. It's software solutions. But we're here pitching for money. We're looking for investment.
So are you up there?
Richard will be, he's up there pitching for us. Richard, yeah. It's exciting for us. First, I've owned several different businesses, but we've never gone this route before. It's always bootstrap, work hard, and you get it launched.
I'm really interested in I only got that 1 minute. And it sounds like it's something
very exciting. But we wanted to do do healthcare solutions. We were in for healthcare solutions, and we met them.
Alright, so hopefully you now realise the power of human energy, because I can't even get through to you because it's so excited. Hopefully you just met somebody awesome, because there were an awful lot of awesome people here. And Chris. Okay, no, there's an awful lot of awesome people here, and there's incredible amount of things that can be achieved as a community. The number one reason for Canopy is a sense of belonging for founders and entrepreneurs who usually do quite lonely things, you would say, in terms of trying to create businesses in the face of everybody telling them they're idiots. Me. Okay. So what's going to happen now is these startups are going to come up under the curation of Jana and Matt. They're going to do a 5-minute demo. That's not a pitch for funds, it's a demo showing you what they're working on. Then you're going to give them feedback. The panel's going to start it off, but then you're going to finish it. They're going to keep you the time, and the bigger conversations can happen afterwards. Okay? Well, the last thing I need to do is to check. Can you clap? Yes. Wow, like, so brilliant. It's amazing. I want you to channel your inner Mongolian right now. I want you to clap from your toes up through your arms, out through your hands. Okay? Because when you're stood up here, it's really bad if nobody really loves you. Okay? So do the best thing you can right now. Okay? Come on, Chris. You can start it from your toes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here today. It's so lovely to see so many familiar faces, but it's also lovely to see new faces. Thank you so much for coming. So, I think students mentioned everything that I was supposed to say, so I'm not going to repeat that again. But what I'm going to say is, whenever a startup finishes, please do clap for them, because it's scary to be here. But equally, myself and Matt, we have a role of being timekeepers. So if they are over 5 minutes, we will be starting clocking them off. Just to let you guys know. But equally, the time will pass so fast, and we will give this 5 minutes to you and to our panelists, who I will be presenting very shortly. And if there's any questions that you guys have and still has not been answered, please keep them and please go and speak to this respective person right after. So let's start. Let's bring our panelists, Shraddha, Christina, if you guys can come here. I will put you a little bit on the spot because I'll ask you who you are. And all the panelists, if you guys can come here, that would be very, very lovely. Hello. So Shraddha, 1 minute, who are you?
Tricky question. Hi everyone, my name is Shraddha. I work for Mark Seven's Group. I manage their tech across the globe. Anything more? Okay, perfect. That's in 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Sahil. I'm the co-founder and CEO of DeepReal, which is a text-to-video AI startup. I'm based in City Couch Lab, and I've done the Canopy Demo Night before once with Stuart.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. I'm the founder of Pravi.ai. We're building AI that helps charities find and convert their ideal donors. I've also done a demo night, and I'm doing one next month. So if I ask a stupid question, come along next month and tell me all about it.
Hi, I'm Christina. I am an aspiring tech entrepreneur. I'm literally an architect, but I've been dabbling in tech for 4 or 5 years. So now I'm looking at a major pivot, which is a social impact network to fuel purpose amongst the users. Kind of like an antidote to what social media is doing to our brains. So, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, let's fasten our seatbelt. Let's get our questions out. Let's listen, and let's over to you, Matt.
Thank you, Yana, and thank you, Crackle. So, who's ready for the first demo? Hands up, anyone who enjoys filling out CV or creating CV. Well, you don't really. So, our first startup is called Slinger. They're revolutionising recruitment in the hospitality sector. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Fido.
Thank you so much, everyone. So my name is Fido Houston. I'm the founder of Slinger. We're on a mission to make hospitality work better, and that is making the CV redundant. Cool. So firstly, we've come with ask. Currently, we're looking for £200,000 because we're being very privileged to have one of the biggest food and drink companies in the world come and say they want to take us on. So we need to invest more in the team and invest in the tech. Before we take a deep dive into the problem, just to give you a bit more stats about hospitality, it's worth over £91 billion in growing year on year. Over a third of hospitality businesses are suffering from staff shortages. That's leaving £25 billion on the table. 73% of jobs require a CV, and 60% of applicants lose interest because the hiring process is too long. So, taking a deeper dive into the problem, I can get this to you. Right, next slide, please. It's fine. I'll just start ahead, but I know it is. So,
30 seconds, don't worry.
No, thank you. Basically, on average, a hiring manager has over 400 applications for each role. Okay, so that costs them £2,000, takes 40 days on average to fill that role. And it's too long. The CV doesn't tell you anything, it's irrelevant, it's redundant. So we've created a new product where we connect the worker and business instantly, and this is all data driven. Given real data sets. So we built a product called Trial Shifts. And this is the process just before employment. It's the last step. We connect all the data to the employer, and then essentially they can connect each other through a simple trial shift. So, using job boards, using CVs, that has on average a connected rate of 0.25% conversion. With our trial shift we built this year, we've had a conversion rate of 75%. So it's like a work date, essentially. The business and the worker meet each other. The worker does a few hours of skills, and then essentially they decide if they want to make that happen. If they don't, they can book another trial shift on that. Are you there? Oh, perfect. So yeah, on the left-hand side here is where you see all the processes you have to do. Make a CV, job application, organise an interview, send rejections, and organise a trial shift. And the worker has to do exactly the same thing. So in Slinger, in the green, this is something we do. We automate all of this process. And as I said, it's data driven on that. So, who's at the team? We've got an amazing team who worked in hospitality, worked in recruitment, and have built marketplaces. Can I get a demo, please? Thank you. Has anyone worked in hospitality here? Yeah. Yes, brilliant. It's the best place to start working off. Cool. So a little demo. This is essentially a site that we built. You choose what role you want. You put the date you want the trial shift. What kind of hours? Is it casual, part-time, full-time? The salary. We go on. Then they build a job description. Yes, guess what? We're going to plug AI into it and we'll automate a job description eventually in there for you. Could I just have that on double speed, please? I can't see my bad spelling then. Awesome, thank you.
This is very hard because I have to go from
Yeah, you got it. Nice. There we go. Just make sure I make no certain mistakes and and essentially, you can do some better questions. Are you okay to work weekends? Are you worked late? Do you know how to make a certain dish? And these can be all screening questions that can essentially happen in that. You can ask for driving license, hygiene ratings, languages you speak, and that goes through the system. And then you simply, again, put all the details you need, the date-wise, that will come up. All the tasks that are needed. You have your favorite slingers in there you want to send it to who you used before. You can either pay upfront or you can invoice if you're on a subscription plan. And then this is the worker side. So Shift simply pops up on their side. They decide they want to take the trial shift and go along. No need to make CVs or anything like that. And that's us simply there. Thank you.
And we're going to have our first question from the panel. Christina.
So I think one of the biggest questions when it comes to two-sided marketplaces is how do you create the user retention? What's the big perks of keeping the two sides on it? What are you actually providing them so that they don't go off platform once they have created a connection?
Great question. So I start with the worker side. Creating a platform meet the demands they need. They need money quick. So we have not just a trial shift, we also have the flexible shift on demand ad hoc work. So when we started the product, we essentially were paying people, because I bootstrapped it from the beginning. I was paying people after 3 weeks because I was doing the fun thing of invoicing businesses, trying to chase them and so on. We created now a system where everything's automated, everyone gets paid within 7 days. So it's quicker than the business can pay the workers. And we're actually on the aim to make that payment reduce down to 1 hour. With the business, good talent, quality, that's what they're looking for all the time. So through our process, we do loads of things to do the vetting. We do video interviews with all the candidates that come on board. That's pre-recorded, they send it through, and we actually experiment with AI reading all the transcripts of all the candidates that coming through. Then we do reference checks on every single person that's automated. Did you really work at Nando's, Starbucks, or anything like that? Again, we don't want to rely on this is why this is validated data. We got that. And then thirdly, we get data on the workers picking up on demand shifts. So they did an on-demand shift with someone like Nando's. Nando's, you know, that person's 4.8, great communication and so on. So the workers, really a simple format, they're just looking for money quick. And in the businesses, they need quality of workers. And that's what we're doing.
Great answer. Anyone in the audience? There you go. War panel.
What's the how many users on the platform? Which businesses are you targeting right now? How are you contacting the staff?
So at the moment we've got over 12,000 workers on the platform. That's built over the last 3 years. On average, we had about 200 people joining us a month. That's without any marketing spend or anything. Then I've got my lovely marketeer to switch on the channels, and we now have 2,500 people joining us a month. So she's 10x that. Businesses, we work with over 700 businesses at the present moment. But I'll be honest, learning over those 3 years who I really want to be working with or not. So I've worked in hospitality for the last 10 years and helped mention the scale to pop-ups, the restaurants like Pizza Pilgrims, Bleecker, Bow London. And this is where kind of all this idea started with the so much stuff. So we're now looking with like franchises that have got like 10 sites plus, essentially for us, and event companies.
Hi, I'm John Sargent. I'm a Elizabeth Business School. Did I understand you correctly that you charge the user rather than the employer? Is that right? No, it's the other way around.
Take all the business money.
That's the way.
Another question?
Yeah, I love that video. I think it's great. My question is around, do you vet the employer? Because yeah, people just want money, but they want to be treated well in their job as well.
I agree, there's cowboys out there. There's actually hospitality doesn't have the best reputation for some of the best business practices. So initially when we first started, I used to know a lot of the businesses myself, to be honest, that they're working with. But what we did, we now get all the workers to rate the businesses they're working with. So we're saying just the job description matches exactly what they say, what the management team now, what are the quality of the team they're working with. So we get all this data as well on the businesses. And then quite frankly, in the 3 years I've been building this, I've had to get rid of two businesses in total because the bad reviews come through and didn't care about taking money. We don't want any bad practices inside cinema.
I think we've got time for one more question.
I think one of the big problems you mentioned earlier is retention of these employees. Do you collect data on that and show the businesses that these people will stay with you?
Really good question, actually. I held an event in Seven Dials Market in Central London, my old employees was. Strongly recommend to go best food in town, all done by independents, by the way, go down there. It actually came up through that event, speaking to a lot of HR managers, so they kind of wanted to sell themselves on the platform as well. And they wanted dashboards to show some stats. So what we're doing now is collecting data on workers when they've completed the trial shift and that's gone to a full-time job. We will then notify the slinger and employer after 3 months to check if they're still there and pick up more data points on that. So we're very early, we're only 12 weeks into the trial shifts, which I absolutely know is going to start for recruitment, not just for hospitality, but for all blue-collar markets. But you're right, there's definitely a dashboard we can be building out on business sites to be advertising more to the workers.
Thank you. Brilliant questions and answers. And a big round of applause for Fiona.
If you find yourself creative. Okay, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Creative thinking and creativity is very important to cultivate, especially in such a fast-paced world that we're living in, because of technology, automation, and so forth. Sam, come up and tell us how business sparks can ignite that.
Yeah, I think just on recording actually. Well, I can just do that. That's it. Brilliant. Thank you. Hello, my name is Sam Steele, and I work here at Base Business School. I'm the Managing Director of the Centre for Creativity Enabled by AI. We're a research team who've had funding for 4 years. I'm not an academic. My job is to help to commercialise the research. And I work largely with academics, although some of our team are actually commercial coders, and we do a bit of marketing and communication around what we're doing. And why are we doing it? Well, somebody said to me the other day that running a business today is like trying to be a map maker in an active volcanic zone. The ground is constantly moving. What we knew a year ago is already out of date. ChatGPT-3 only launched 18 months ago. We're already on ChatGPT-4, which is orders of magnitude faster and more able to use data. And GPT-5 is due in a couple of months. Digitization, globalization, changing customer expectations, emerging platform economies, emerging models, business models. Companies going bust faster than ever. In 2020, the average lifespan of a company was 20 years, according to Standard & Poor's. That's a drop of over 35% in a generation. In the 60s, it was 32 years. So Accenture called the rate of business change in 2024 unprecedented. And this is only the beginning. We're in the fourth industrial revolution. It's just getting started. And the question is, what do businesses need to survive? Well, they need creativity. And Business Sparks is an easy-to-use professor in the box from Base Business School. It helps people to think more creatively, to develop problem-solving skills, and explore opportunities effectively. Businesses need more creative thinking, not just to compete, but to survive. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs annual report places creative thinking and analytical thinking at 1 and 2 in the top 10 skills that businesses are looking for in their teams. A year ago, they were at 4 and 5. Creativity and innovation are the fundamental tools for navigating change, and Western education systems do not teach creativity. In fact, the US Psychology Association declared a creativity crisis in the US, and the UK education system is criticised by the Times Education Supplement for crushing creativity. We do not teach creativity in our education systems, we teach the opposite. We do not encourage creativity in our workplaces, we discourage divergent thinking, we discourage diversity, and we absolutely discourage individual expressions. So this tool benefits from more than 10 years of research and development and several lifetimes of published papers on best business practice and creative problem solving. It's easy to use and it requires no experience. And its USP is that We have hard-coded information from business and creativity experts at the Bayes Business School. We're a world-class institution. We've been working on co-creative AI tools for 10 years, long before OpenAI supercharged the atmosphere with its large language models. Our new tech supports teams with no prior knowledge of using creative problem-solving processes. So techniques like TRIZ or SCAMPLE or reverse thinking or assumption challenging are hard-coded into the tool to help users explore relevant data. And this reliability, knowledge curation, and robust process gives Business Spark quite a unique selling point in the sector. It's a white box AI tool, which is very, very different from these commercial AI platforms. Our language models do not hallucinate, they co-create. The market opportunity, well, the innovation management market is projected to reach $6.2 billion by 2030, and that's a compound annual growth rate of 16.4% over the next 6 years. And Business Sparks also has the potential in the growing learning and development market, which is currently estimated at $357 billion globally. And it will also support consultants who specialise in helping leadership teams to innovate new solutions. Industry advisor Gartner lists just 38 companies globally who are currently categorised as providing innovation management tools. And none of those companies are currently using AI in the codified creative problem and insights components that we use. So no existing Gen AI platform like OpenAI or Anthropic or Google or Meta have the white box programming that makes our tools so safe and reliable. We know where all of the information is coming from, and it's coming from places that we have vetted and we are experts. So the question for me, now that we've spent nearly 4 years making these tools, is how do we get them to market? And that's my ask this evening. I'm looking for a commercial partner to embed this technology into their existing platforms and develop the commercial application of these tools. We need to help to get this really good tech out of academia and into the commercial sector. Business Sparks can help businesses innovate their models, increase growth, and according to published studies, working co-creatively with AI will improve employee performance by up to 43%. This is just my last slide, which is the problem is rapid change, the solution is Business Sparks. The USP is that it puts a professor in your pocket, and the opportunity is a global market. And I would like somebody to come and work with me to help me to get it out of the academic sector. Thank you very much.
So the first question goes to Shraddha.
Hi, Pat. Nice presentation. My question would be, what do you think is your target market, and how would you define the for that target market?
Well, at the moment, I know that quite a lot of consultancies are working with companies to help them think about how to implement AI and change in their business. And the large language models will change how businesses organise themselves. So we're living through a time where lots and lots of companies, every company, has to deal with change. So I actually think this tool works really well for consultants to help them to maximise the work that they're doing with their clients. If you ask me who my real blue sky target organisation would be, I would say it would be somebody like Salesforce, who are already providing lots of tools and analytical tools to companies. But obviously a company like Salesforce is massive, it would be impossible to get into bed with them. Probably wants somebody who is providing a similar service a few layers down, who wants something to help them differentiate themselves in the marketplace.
Other questions?
We know that LLMs can often be prediction machines as well, and they're looking at previous bodies of work. So there's a risk inherent in all of them that the owners of that work will want to have a say in the application of it. Have you contacted the authors of the underlying work to get their consent or to see what their interest is in this product?
I haven't got demo of the product up. So I urge you all to go and have a little play with it using the URL there. The way that our tool works is that it references some of a lot of the data that we've put into it comes from the business school. So yes, we have asked the professors of business if we can use some of their research. We're using research that the business school actually owns to inform the tool. But the tool itself actually asks questions. So a user will input a business challenge, how can I find more staff? And then the tool will take you through a creative problem solving process where it interrogates business data that we've uploaded or points it to, and then it will ask you questions based on that data. So that's the co-creative part of it. And that's the big difference between it and large language models, which simply just feed you the answer and hallucinate. Our tools do something really quite fundamentally different.
Any other questions?
Last question. Hello, I'm Alan Russell, based as a scholar and also works in AI. As you know, in AI, there's a lot of context kind of based foundations that go into it. To answer your question in terms of which areas and how to market it, we deal with a lot of companies, and I think you might want to think about which functions you might want to apply it to. I often find at university we talk about business and academic. But when you go into business, there are normally different functions.
Mm-hmm.
So is it marketing? And within marketing, is it product development, for example? And in product development, for example, there could be a lot of use cases. Have you thought about which functions you might have the biggest impact?
I think that's a really good question. We've kept it fairly broad and not got into any verticals because the skill sets that we've programmed in and the information that it's drawing from is the top skills, the soft skills, the analytical skills that apply to anyone. And in fact, we spoke to a very large firm of accountants who are next door, Grant Thornton, about whether they were very interested in using the tool with their consultants. We said, would you like us to specialise it to financial? And they said, not at all. Our consultants know their skills, but to a financial consultant, everything looks like a finance problem. If we used a tool like yours, it might help them to think outside of the box to come up with more solutions for their customers. So the feedback we've had so far is to keep it broad, to support creative problem solving across probably the innovation teams in whatever innovation they're doing. Robin, you've got time for one more?
One quick one. Do you need a partner with deep pockets or just a good path to market?
I think I'm looking for somebody with a path to market. You know, my gut feeling is that when academia comes up with a good idea, they need a commercial partner to pull it out of academia. Academia can't push ideas out into the commercial sector. So I'm looking for a really motivated partner who can help us get to market.
Sorry. I'm going to be the timekeeper here, but take your question and speak with Sam afterwards. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause.
So has anyone taken in some of the London Tech Week events this week? Yeah? How many mentions of AI have we had? Hundreds, thousands? It's quite a lot of hype around it. No? So this next demo is going to be, obviously AI is very powerful, it can be used for good, but also it can be used to the negative effect as well. And there's obviously threats and risks around data and security. So our next startup, Veracity, and Nigel is going to tell you more about their idea. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, everyone. It is great to be here. Oh, there we go. Just a very quick introduction. My name is Nigel Bridges. I'm co-founder of a company called Veracity. As you can tell, it's not my first rodeo, and one day I will get it right and have that yacht. Here's where we are. We're actually a scale up, so we've done a lot of the hard yards, and we're now into that scale up sort of bridging. But I'll tell you why we do what we do, because this is really, really important. A couple of statistics here. if you look across the Western world, the number of visitors to websites, around about 45 to 50% of the website visitors are non-human. So they're bots. Yeah? What is more scary than around 30% of website visitors are bots intent on harm. Steal your data, plant ransomware, set up fake accounts, all that nasty stuff. So you need to stop that happening, especially if you go to a website that's got data behind it. For example, if you are advertising on something like Facebook or Google or Instagram, if you're on Facebook, for example, on average, 45% of the clicks on your Facebook ads are non-human. That's 45% of your ad budget you just flushed down the drain. So this is a really big global problem. So this graph I've just put up here is one of our clients that thought they had all of the cyber protections in place. They use the cyber protections in the cloud, you know, on the edge, all this kind of stuff. And this is us measuring humans versus non-humans coming onto their website. We measured after their current cyber protection, 40% of the visitors to their website were non-human. They were bots looking to do nasty stuff. And of course, we're all familiar with this kind of stuff. Clicking on the traffic lights, we all hate it. It's all full of friction, doesn't really work, and for a few $100 you can buy software that's going to circumvent it. So that's the problem we're solving. So here's where we are. We've got a highly differentiated machine learning, I'm not going to say AI, machine learning engine, where we are looking at the behavior of a visitor to a website and working out, is it a human or is it a very clever bot pretending to be a human? We are really, really good at it. We've got about 5-6 years worth of human behavior data, and that's what we're applying. It's an easy install, unlike a lot of these systems. It is incredibly accurate, and we have now got a great customer base that is growing, that like us, that say nice things, and give us great case studies. We've also got a really good team. We are all serial tech founders. There are about 15, 16 of us now. And really excitingly, we just opened our office, well, we've applied for and just granted today our Singapore office. So we're going places. So why now? This is why I'm standing in front of you, because we've done the hard yards. They're really hard yards. Those first 3, 4, 5 years are really hard. We got through that, and we have now got some huge opportunities, not just here in the UK, but across the world, specifically in Asia and the Middle East, that we need to begin to satisfy. So everything's laid out in front of us. We are growing our revenue towards the Series A. You can see the uptick in the revenue graph there behind me. And we've just started that acceleration path. So what we're looking for is we're now looking to go that extra step, bring in the bridge funding, so that we can put more funds into the sales business development engine so that we can do that first institutional raise. So that's where we are. It's all incredibly exciting. I have no idea whether my 4 minutes are up, but I'm going to stop there and say that's exactly what we do. Very happy to take any questions at all, and actually I'm even happy to take a check.
Can you talk a bit more about your go-to-market strategy and the differentiation versus competitors like the big boys like this?
Yeah, very happy to. Difficult to do it in sort of 30 seconds, but I will try. Go-to-market strategy, we started with a direct model because we wanted to sell direct into the mid-market in the UK so we could get traction, case studies, prove the product, all that sort of good stuff. We're now transitioning from that to an indirect model where we're signing up distributors mainly across the world, not in the UK, because this is now a volume play. So we're pivoting from direct to indirect. So that's the first question, I think. And I can't remember the second question. Competitors. Yeah, it's really interesting. Most of the really large, well-funded, and I'm talking millions, tens of millions, $100 million funding companies, they've come out of the States to do bot detection, bot blocking. but they tend to work at the server side in the CDN. We don't. We work at the browser because that is the only place you can genuinely detect human behaviour. And we're finding, especially state actors, are now writing sophisticated bots that get around all of those current defences. So you have to be at the browser. As far as we can tell, we're the only ones using ML behaviour-based detection at that client side. Does that make sense?
I'll go to the audience first.
Hello, we have tonight. Just to follow up on the last question. So, how much of your revenue today is going through that indirect route? And why have you chosen Singapore as an office to open at this stage of the business?
Hang on, I'll wait for live. Two great questions. At the moment, 95% of our revenue is direct. We've literally just started the pivot, so we've signed our first distributor in Singapore. We've got 3 or 4 others where we're talking terms. Yeah, so really early. And the second question was, why Singapore? Very simply, if anyone remembers those, if anyone remembers those halcyon days of TechNation 1.0, before Barclays put whatever.
Yeah, I remember.
Great. TechNation were really good, and they were really good to us. They noticed our technology, gave us the most innovative cyber technology award about 2 years ago, maybe 3. And on the back of that, they sponsored us into Asia as part of their Asian cohort. And that's the reason we're in Asia. Had they sponsored into, I don't know, Belgium, we may well be in Belgium. So maybe you're in luck in a sense.
What you describe is very interesting to me as a tech person, and it sounds like you are kind of dealing with the denial of service attacks. When there's loads of requests to the website, how do you detect them and stuff?
Yeah, thank you. A great observation. No, we're not really doing DDoS. There are really good DDoS solutions out there, and that tends to be, some actor just trying to swamp something. We're not. We're stopping that ridership. We're stopping the person that's writing that really sophisticated bot that will get through all the current defences and just try to do something really nasty and horrible. And of course, these days you could do that on bulk. So it's like having lots and lots of rifles that we're stopping rather than that. I'm running out of analogy here. You know what I mean. So, does that help? Fantastic.
I think we've got time for one more question.
What do you think your false negative rate is? So, how many bots do you think you incorrectly classify as human?
Wow, that's a really good question. No one is ever going to say 100% perfect. Our false negative, false positive rates are really low, but there's always going to be a grey area. And we've got some really clever little tweaks that we deploy. So if something is in the grey area, there are further things we can do just to differentiate between the human and non. So that in a sense is the easy answer. The other answer is that sometimes it depends on the client. So for example, if you're a bank, you don't mind stopping a few customers coming in, they'll just come in again later. You just don't want the bot in. If you're a retailer, you might make a slight decision in the grey area. So it's the ability to give the customer, the organisation, the ability just to turn the dial a little bit. Cool. Well, thank you for your time.
So, much in the same thing as the last time, find someone in the audience who you don't know, not the same person as you didn't know before. And start off with the last film that you watched.
Okay. We have one more demo left. So please, let's focus on that. Okay, staffing in healthcare. Is it easy? Is it no? No.
Terrible.
So we all have this problem, and definitely in all industries, it's a big challenge. Especially in healthcare, I think we all should be quite aware of it. It's a massive challenge. So, Agora Care, tell us how you're gonna. What's your solution?
Okay, well, I'll start the timer so that I can overrun and ignore it. Okay, we are Agora, and I'm Richard Williams-Pearce. I'm here to take you through it. Now, they always say in any presentation, don't just read the slides, so I'm going to break that and read the slides. The high cost of agency staff is bleeding the healthcare industry dry. We want to get rid of temp agencies and we want to replace them with a fully digitized, AI-driven system. Now, agencies, they charge between 15 and 45% to supply staff. And that's just at ordinary times. As soon as you go to evenings and weekends, I've heard instances of people being charged out for £40 an hour, and the staff themselves are earning barely more than minimum wage. How can the agencies justify this? Well, there's no other option. That's the problem. So how do we know this? Who are we? Well, this is the team we've assembled to fix this. I'm Richard Williams-Pearce. I've got a long background serving on the boards of various healthcare companies, including Cornwall's largest healthcare supplier. I've also worked on a recruitment company. My wife, Joey, in the audience, she's worked in the NHS and operating theatres for years and years. Moved into adult social care. Janet Shreve, she's our Chief Relationship Officer. She's worked in the healthcare sector for years as well. Set up Shreve Care Services, worked with lots of large healthcare providers. And then, of course, we needed the tech side of things. So we've got Simon, we've got Ben. They have designed, they co-founded Teams software, which is the UK's leading asbestos management software. So what I'm saying is, we've got a good background in delivering software that works for people and is already used by
hundreds and hundreds of companies all the way across the UK already. And we've got a background in healthcare, and we've got a background in managing all of that kind of thing. So that's why we thought we should get involved and fix this problem. So how does our solution work? Well, we figure everything that an agency can do, we can do in software, especially with modern AI, modern compute power, and we run everything through a marketplace. That way, you can actually charge a fair market price for everything. The staff can be paid what they need to be paid, and the providers can pay what is a fair market rate. We rate everything. As soon as you work somewhere, the staff rate it, the employees rate the staff, and everything is run through. Some of it's AI, some of it's machine learning. Let's face it, the people in the know, there's a big difference between the two. But we use elements of AI, elements of machine learning to rate everything and fully automate the system end to end. Your right to work checks, your CQC ratings, your DBS, etc. We run it all through our system and we charge you out at a fair rate. I could literally go through this in huge amounts of detail, as you can imagine, but I won't bore you with it all. I'll give you a little demo in a minute. Nope, I've gone one step too far. We want to empower millions and millions of healthcare workers across the UK. They're some of the hardest working people in the UK, and the vast majority of them earn an absolute pittance. The healthcare industry is struggling to employ more and more and more people every year, and every year the costs go up, and that cost isn't passed on to the hardest working of workers. So what we want to do is charge a fair market rate, 5% instead of 45%. We want to make a better future for everyone, fix the broken healthcare system in this country, and make lives better for millions and millions of people. So without further ado, I will do a quick demo. We were going to have Simon here who's going to do a live demo for you. He's our CTO. Unfortunately, his wife's been taken ill, so he's sent me a few slides from the back of his car, which I'll have to quickly sort of run you through. But as you can imagine, it's a really, really simple system for everyone to use. This is an example of how a carer would sign on. You come on, you've got your profile up at the top. You don't have to complete the whole thing. You can actually get it. It's easy. You can see where you could be working, what sort of rates you could be picking up. Of course, you can't actually work there until you've fully completed everything. As you can see, you've got to fill out loads of details, but we use our checks in the background. There's a lot of automated systems out there that allow you to check things automatically as well. You fill in all your certificates, your video interview, etc. Once your profile is completed, you can actually then start picking up shifts in places. Whilst this seems incredibly modern, actually this technology in the healthcare industry really has only just come out. Sorry, I said incredibly modern. It doesn't seem incredibly modern to a lot of us who've worked in industries where you've had application for years, not so much in healthcare. I'm being told to wrap up. If you're a provider, obviously you can go on, you fill everything out, and the software allows you to set a fair market rate to employ the staff that you need. We are Agora Care. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shanna. I really hope you guys succeed and put more money in nurses' pockets and more capacity in the healthcare system. But your sales velocity is going to be really slow, or your sign-up velocity is going to be really slow as you work through all the red tape to get onto the various panels of NHS, health trusts, private hospitals, and aged care homes. Do you have enough runway to sustain that really slow acquisition process?
Well, two things. Firstly, very good question. Firstly, that's why we'd like some more investment. But secondly, there's a lot of small care companies who this is really sort of tailor-made for. NHS, etc., we're not expecting to really be able to get in with them for a number of years simply because of the red tape, simply because they're resistant to change. If you look at a lot of the smaller companies, the ones that are really suffering, a lot of those will be very anxious to try something new. We've already got a lot on board through our diverse network of contacts, through mainly Janet as well. But also, when you're approaching healthcare workers and saying, would you like to earn £2 more an hour? I'm thinking that our sign-ups are going to go crazy. we're in the final, well, not the final stage, we're at the final stages of development of the app. But we really need to work through our tech stack at the moment. We're launching in a few months, depending on investment, of course. The more we get, the quicker we can launch. But there's a lot that we really think should be able to go viral with this. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, I was going to ask about what stage you are, but you literally just said that. But a question, have you ever thought about a partnership with other types of businesses, such as those that are supplying medicines to certain clients? That given people could not only provide the service, as you just stated, but also provide medicines and whatnot, and sort of tackle and grow the businesses together.
Thank you for the question. I think there's actually a variety of ways that could work. I think later down the line, one of the things we can certainly see is that this business model is a much wider application than the very narrow focus we're working on. What we're really working now with is healthcare providers, smaller ones, independents, so that we can hopefully achieve viral growth. But you're absolutely right, that kind of thing would really allow us to develop a much wider service. We'd certainly like to be able to open it up to end users and the general public as well, so that for home care, for instance, you could in the future come on here, choose your carer and have them come and work for you. As you said, it really wouldn't take much change to do that, but that's not quite where we are now. But for the right investment, we could certainly work on it. I said that too many times.
Two related questions. So one is your sign-up rate for carers at the moment. What does that look like? And well, do you go beyond carers on the platform? And the quality of carers in the UK in terms of getting people signed up, I've heard from other startups have been quite low. So do you verify and check those carers before bringing the platform?
Yeah.
I'll pass you on to my dear wife, I think, on this one.
My turn. Sorry, could you just repeat that first one?
Yeah, so sign-up rates at the moment.
So sign-up rates for carers, we don't charge them anything at all. They're the lowest paid people in our society. They absolutely should not be charged anything at all.
How many have you signed up so far?
So we're a very kind of small base rate at the moment. So we're just about to start our trial. So we haven't started it yet. Second question?
Is it just carers?
No. So we're going to start off in adult social care. We're going to start off with carers, and then it's going to expand to the entirety of the healthcare market. So we're looking at ODPs, nurses, anywhere in NHS, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, and so on and so forth. This could be adapted to any part of the healthcare service. Quality checking. So they will all have to pass certain kind of basic checks that you would normally have to pass to get into any sort of job. In addition to that, and we would have essentially a kind of a rating service. This is something that actually is kind of hot discussion because, people can be people. So, you can be like, well, I didn't particularly like them, so I'm going to give them a 1 star. We're not going to have that. It's going to be very metric based. Did they turn up on time? Were they good at their, essentially their job? The roles that you applied to them, did they do it? So on and so forth. And then actually it works the other way as well. So, for a carer going into a provider, was the job what you expected it to be? Was there a safeguarding policy absolutely in one foot for everyone to see? So we're working it both ways. But what we'll find is that yes, there are going to be people that sign up that aren't very good because, but what will happen very quickly is they get a low star rating. And one of our things is our DBS. So if they're on the DBS service, they'll have, on the update service, they'll have a green tick straight away. So we know straight away, absolutely, that their DBS is current, rather than, okay, it was a year ago, but yeah, they've got one. So it's kind of doing the ultimate checks and ultimate ratings, so we can really weed out the people that we don't want in the service.
I know there's one last very quick question from Lady.
Sorry, thank you. I think it's a great idea. Just a question, why no one has thought of that before? Because we struggled with this for a while. So kudos to you and thank you to your wife as well for safety checks of that, make sure that you secure this patient as a provider. So I just want to know what's your observation? Why did no one thought of this before?
Well, thank you very much. That was one thing that bugged us for a long time. Quite simply, a lot of things have changed recently. A lot of digitisation has suddenly come to the forefront. I mean, the idea of doing digital job interviews was pretty much unheard of before COVID. Suddenly now that's becoming normalised. The industry is digitising, and it's digitising quite rapidly. However, everyone's still trying to hang on to their existing agency business models. If you've been raking in 45%, the idea of taking 5% is not something you're interested in. You even charge people. If they work somewhere and they actually take a full-time job there, you charge them, in some cases, 6 months' salary for what's called a temp to perm fee. So things like that are built into the industry. We looked at where it will be, we believe, in 5 years, and so let's build that system and let's do it now. Thank you.
So before we go, I would like to ask Stu to wrap it up.
Okay, cool. All right. Hands up if you liked demo night today.
Very good, yeah.
Hands up if you thought Sam was the best presenter today. Just take it. If you are a founder who wants to come and do something like this in the future, come and talk to any one of us 5 later. We've got the next demo night in July. We're also doing this every month for a year, and we will be in Web Summit as ever, during that Web Summit week. A similar event. We've done that for the last, how many years? Quite a few, 6 or 7. Anyway, so we welcome you to the stage with that. This is for early stage founders through to hyperscale, but this is about people who want to learn. This is about people like Theo standing here saying, I'm pretty awesome already, but I've always got something to learn. And he's opened himself out to this audience and got questions and got feedback. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the company of everybody here. Drink the bar until it's gone, food until it's gone, and then be gone. All right, see you later.